So I had heard that Pete had used tabletop robotics, Ozobots, in his middle school classes last year, and I was interested in finding a way to use them in my physics classes because we do much of the same geometry type of things. So I went to his program on the Professional Development Day in September, and as I was watching it, I realized that it would really connect to our unit on vectors in physics pretty easily. For vectors in physics, students are mapping the position that something changes over time and going in two different dimensions. So my idea was that I could use the Ozobots to bring those vectors really to life. So I spent several days with my physics classes. They spent a day sort of familiarizing themselves with how to program the Ozobot, and they had a lot of fun with that. And then ultimately their challenges were to take two Ozobots to program them to follow two different paths, but arrive at the same place at the same time. So not only were they having to get them to follow the path, but they had to calculate what speed and what velocity they would have to each be programmed at in order to make them arrive at the same place at the same time. So using the Ozobots allowed students to really visually see the vectors as opposed to just lines on the piece of paper. And it was interesting for them to make the connection between the program that they put into the computer and then how that actually affected how the Ozobot moved. It was really fascinating to learn about them from Pete. It certainly wasn't something I would have come up with on my own.